Revenge films.
I live in a condo, but one day in the condo lobby, I bumped into my senior from high school, Karen. This woman had actually been the reason why I had to quit being in the tennis club in high school.
Oh my, is that you, Leia? I can't believe you are even in the lobby of this condo right now. Do you have any idea what kind of people are allowed in here? This is an expensive condo for rich people. It's not a place for someone like you to be in. Oh wait, I get it. You came here just to get a taste of the air that rich people breathe, right?
I never liked Karen one bit. She was my senior in our high school tennis club, and she'd always belittle and bully me any chance she got.
You're supposed to get here earlier and make sure that everyone has everything they need for practice. Make sure to clean up after everyone today, all by yourself, okay?
Like this, even though there were other juniors that she could have asked to do things for her and the other seniors, she only targeted me and made me do all the heavy lifting for everyone. Nonetheless, I really liked playing tennis, so I did my best to please her and keep being in the club. But one day, there was a game where Karen was paired with another junior. In the game, Karen had made a mistake, but she lied and told everyone that I was a junior that had caused her to do bad in the game. And with that, she got the other seniors in the tennis club to start bullying me too. And because of the immense pressure from everyone, I had no other choice but to leave the tennis club. When I went to hand in my resignation form for the tennis club, Karen was there.
I'm so glad that we finally made the right decision to leave our tennis club. Poor people like you have no right to be playing tennis.
She made fun of me until the very end. Since then, 10 years have gone by, so I'm no longer scared of Karen at all. But still, I didn't want anything to do with her anymore, so I simply walked away from her in the condo lobby. But since that day, whenever she saw me in the lobby again, she'd always go out of her way to try and belittle me.
I can't believe you actually seem to be living here. I had no idea someone like you would be capable of living in such a place. But still, it makes sense that even if you live here, you live on the cheapest first floor.
What are you going on about?
I guess you don't know about the status ranking in condos then. Obviously, the higher up you live in a condo, the more money you make. Therefore, you living on the first floor is fitting of you, since you're poor. You live on the first floor here, yet I bet you still go out there and brag to everyone that you live on a higher floor in this condo, right?
I would never do such a thing.
As if you wouldn't. I live on the 20th floor, by the way, which is obviously so much higher up than you. So you can easily tell just how much better I am than you, even if we live in the same building. It doesn't matter if you live in a condo. Living on the first floor practically counts as nothing. I remember just how poor you were back in high school. All the equipment you used in our tennis club were hand-me-downs.
I don't think any of that matters now.
Of course it does. You live here in this condo, so I'm guessing you married into some money? But I bet your husband still doesn't make that much money, considering that you're both living on the first floor. Poor people like you two deserve each other.
Karen's bad attitude and inclination to bully me hadn't changed at all in the past 10 years, and I had enough of her at this point. But I knew that in order for me to get back at her properly, I needed time to come up with a plan. So I tried to leave by saying, "We have no need to be talking to each other, so please just leave me alone."
Just because you're poor, it doesn't mean you have to be so aggressive. I'm having a stressful time in my life right now, so I'm gonna have fun by bullying you.
With that, she finally left me alone. What Karen had gotten wrong is that I didn't actually live on the first floor of the condo. I was down on the first floor because my parents lived there. But I didn't let Karen know about this, because if she found out, then I thought that she'd start targeting my parents then. That's why I left her to think that I was living on the first floor. I knew that Karen is the type to get a kick out of seeing other people affected by what she says and does. So from then on out, I tried my best to just ignore her completely. That's why whenever I saw her from that day on, I did my best to simply stay clear of her. But I guess Karen didn't like that I was trying to ignore her, so she took actions against that. One day, when I went to visit my mom, "Mom, let's go shopping." All my mom did was look at me with worry in her eyes. "What's wrong, Mom?" "Recently, some strange things have been happening." "Like what?" "Like this. This letter was in our mailbox today." She handed me the letter and it read, "Poor people get out. This isn't a place for people like you to be living in. Go live in an old apartment or something that suits you." My mom had handed me multiple letters like these. This is unbelievable. "Also recently, it seems like someone's constantly ringing our doorbell. I got out to see who it is, but there's no one there." My stepdad usually works until late, so he doesn't get home until late at night. That's why my mom was the one that had been the victim of all these malicious acts. I thought about calling the police about this, but before doing that, I thought that it might be best for us to put a surveillance camera outside my parents' place and figure out what was going on. But even still, I knew the person that was most probably doing all of this was Karen. She can't get away with this! I knew that Karen must have been doing these things thinking that she was targeting me, but nevertheless, I couldn't believe that she was so cruel. It seemed as though my mom was really stressed about the whole doorbells constantly ringing. It's okay, Mom. I'll get to the bottom of this quickly. Do you have an inkling as to who might be doing such things? I do. So I'm going to go directly talk to that person I have in mind, that I think is most probably doing these things. A few days after, I saw Karen in the condo lobby again, and this time I approached her. You're the one that put those vile letters in my mailbox, right?
You got me! But it's all your fault. You shouldn't be living here in the first place. This is a place for rich people to be living, not poor people like you. How many times do I have to tell you that before you get into your thick skull?
I'm pretty sure you put those letters in that mailbox thinking that you were targeting me, but actually, my parents are the ones living on the first floor of this condo.
What? I remember your mom was some single poor lady, though. I guess she must have married into some money just like you then. I mean, she had you quite young, so I guess it's possible that she remarried easily.
Just like I predicted, when I told Karen about my parents living on the first floor, she started to belittle them right away. Don't talk about my mom like that. And by the way, it was my husband that bought the first floor condo for my parents to live in.
Boo, that's so lame. So then where do you live?
I live in the penthouse.
What? What did you just say now?
I live in the penthouse on the very top floor of this whole building. And the reason why my parents live on the first floor is because my mom's afraid of heights. She can't stand being in high places, and that's why we got the first floor condo just for her.
You're lying. There's no way that you or your husband would be able to do such a thing, or that you would be able to even find a husband that had that much power in such situations as choosing specific condo floors to live on.
We literally didn't talk for the past 10 years, so what would you know about my life? I met my husband through a mutual friend of ours, and he's actually the CEO of Freedom Co.
What? That's the parent company that my husband works for. There's no way you're telling the truth right now.
I'm telling you the truth. It's good to know that your husband works under my husband's company. I'll let my husband know what you said about my parents, and I'm sure he won't take what you said about them lightly. He might even get in touch with your husband too.
Wait, no, you can't do that. Don't go telling my husband what I've done.
I'll let everyone know what you've done to me and my family so far. You should just be happy that I'm not going to the police about what you've done.
No, if you tell anyone about any of this, then what's gonna happen to me?
What happens to you after all of this has nothing to do with me. You're the one that chose to make a mockery out of me, so the least I'll do is tell your husband about what you've done to me.
I'm sorry. I won't say or do anything to offend you anymore, so don't tell anyone.
There's no way I can agree to that. Well then, I'll be off.
No, wait. Please don't tell my husband about this.
Karen pleaded to me, but I was having none of it. And that night, I told my husband everything that had happened and asked for his advice about what to do too. My husband was so angry that I and my mom had been put in so much stress because of what Karen had done to us. We didn't know exactly on which floor and room Karen and her husband were living in, but after a little research, my husband found where they were living and paid them a visit. After Karen's husband found out about what Karen had done, he started groveling straight away on her behalf.
Please, accept my apology on behalf of what my wife has done to your wife and your wife's mother. I'll have a word with my wife about what she's done.
After that, for some reason, I never saw Karen in my condo building ever again. I soon found out that apparently, after Karen's husband found out about what she'd done, he filed for divorce from her. But apparently, Karen didn't want to divorce her husband, so they were going to court over their divorce at the moment, and in the meantime, she'd gone to live back at her family home. After that, I bumped into Karen randomly while I was out.
Please, just tell my husband that you've forgiven me for what I've did to you before. If things keep going like this, we'll really get divorced, and I really don't want that.
She pleaded to me, but all I could say was, "You brought all this upon yourself. I even told you many times that I didn't want anything to do with you anymore, yet you still went out of your way to bully me. So I have absolutely no reason to ever forgive you for what you did to me. And by the way, please never talk to me ever again. If you do, I'll go to the police." To that, Karen just looked defeated. I could handle Karen bullying me, but when it came to her belittling my mom, I couldn't take it anymore. That's why I promised myself that I'd never forgive her for what she'd done. It's most probably only a matter of time before she gets divorced. But again, she brought all this ill fortune on herself.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.